So moving on to refining this silhouette somewhat more and working on the pose a little bit more. Before I go into it, I want to just check out some details of the model and where we're at so far, because if from the end of the last section we ended up with one triangle and there was still a more than four-sided face under here. So I'll just show you some tools you can use just to check things out. So if we go to keyboard F, and that's giving us object mode, and we're just working on half the true half of the object, not the instance side here. So this is going to give us some details now about this half of the object. So if we go to Editors Options and just come down here to Object, got the wrong one then, Scene Info. And then if we look at the mesh here, and we look that we've got down at the bottom, we've got faces, we've got three-sided 1, and we've got four-sided 165, which would mean if you doubled it up, that would give you an idea of the total number of faces so far, or polygons for your model. This would be crucial for game modelers who are working to a very tight polygon, say 2,000 or 3,000 polygons. They would want to be really making sure every polygon counts. And then here we've got one that's more than four-sided. So if that was in this mesh and we couldn't find it, then there's several ways of locating it. So we know that the triangle, the three-sided one, this three-sided one is there, but where is this more than four-sided, so greater than four-sided polygon? So we'll go back to object mode, and if we go to select and then select special geometry and hit option, and then type faces with sides greater than 4 and hit select, if you look around you'll see that it's selected it there, so it's isolated that face for you. So straight away we knew exactly where that one was. Now to correct that, I'm going to get rid of that now. So I'm going to select here, and so I've selected the two polygons, and then using Alt and E selected right around the body, and that's put me a loop all the way around right into the groin there. And I'm going to use Shift and X and split that all the way through. Now it gives me a number of things. One, it's given me geometry under the arm, which I wanted to correct here, but that split that I've done is pretty much where I wanted it anyway. You've got to be careful doing that. Don't run unnecessary loops through the mesh unless you absolutely know where they're going to run and that you want the extra geometry in there. Doing too much of that leaves you with unwanted geometry all over the place. So keyboard A, back to vertex mode, select those 2 points there, hit X to connect them, same again there, X, and we've got a triangle there. And if we just use back to object mode and X, I'm going to put split from there to there. Whoops, did that wrong. So from there to there. Come out of that mode and have a look at that. Using escape. And you can see what I've done. I've actually added a point in by mistake there, so I can just hit delete and gets rid of that. What I've done is now got rid of that triangle at the front. Not keen on this area yet, and we can fix that later, but what it has done is it's got rid of all the triangles for me and the five-sided face. Back to object mode and take a look. So we've now got faces, three-sided is 0, four-sided 198, and four-sided or greater than four sides 0. So we're back to the place where I like to be. Again, it's preference. A lot of game modelers would be happy to put triangles in here and lots of triangles into the hand, etc. I like to keep quads wherever possible. When you start to deform up and go into the high polygon sculpting, keeping it quads is a much better option. Again, personal preference. Quads and tris generally okay. Depending on who you work for, where you work, quads is usually best. Obviously, if you've got quads, you know that every quad's going to turn into two triangles, which gives you some real benefits, certainly for game. Okay, so let's turn scene info off, turn off special options, and then we'll start working a little bit of magic on these arms. So select edge mode, like so. Shift and X, we'll put a split there, and then we'll put another one there. Now I've just done Shift and X again, and without letting it go, I can now slide that up and down, because I want that tucked in right by the wrist, like so. And then I can tweak that away to my heart's content. We haven't even subdivided this mesh at all yet to have a look at it smooth, because we're still very much in the early stages of refining silhouette. Form and silhouette. The first stage was the form, and now we're looking at silhouette. And a long way to go really before we start putting any great amount of detail in any area. If you do get trapped into doing detail, which we're going to soon, on the head for example, you just got to be really sure that you've done as much of the pre-work and the groundwork as you possibly can. You don't want to be doing lots of detail work and then find you've got to mess it all around. It just becomes messy, and everything takes longer then. So that, especially with box modelling, the more work you do at these early stages, the better. Now that bicep area there is quite nasty, so we'll put a couple of splits in there. We'll select the loop all the way around, Shift and X, and again I've got the slide function there. So we'll do one there just by the elbow, and one there just below the cut. There's not a fantastic amount of definition in this muscle coming up from the chest across the top end of the bicep yet. Now I'm going to actually run an edge loop along here, but not yet. I'll carry on as I've done so far, and then do that at a later stage when we start to change the form and get the edge loops more accurate. Modelers do things differently. Some modelers would put that edge in and that form quite early on, but we'll carry on with this way for now, the way I do it, and I'll show you where we get with it. You can see me tweaking now, so I'm just using Control, moving the verts, just literally trying to look for form, keep going back, looking for the shape of the bicep, shape of the shoulder blade here. Now I can put quite a bit of geometry in this back here without causing too many problems. There's big polygons here which aren't going to be much use to me. So what I will do is put a split all the way through the back here, and I can actually afford to put 2 splits, which will prevent problems. So I'm going to split all the way from here. Just do it by hand this time, right away across. Put 1 split there and 1 split there, and then down at the bottom like so. For now I'm just going to join that up like that. Again, I'll clean that up later and I'll show you what I mean, because that's giving me what will be called a nasty pole there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides coming into one vert, which isn't really ideal. Bit of a mess there, but I know in my mind I've got no triangles to mess with, so I can change all of this round with different tools at a later stage. Now I'm just going to even out here. So I've got a run there and a run there that's too close together, so I'm going to just even them out. If you leave things together, so 2 lines together when you're using subdivision modeling, will give you a crisp edge. So if we try and even everything out as much as possible, we haven't even checked that, but that's just simply how this kind of software works. We're thinking of rounded shapes at the moment, organic, trying to keep it organic. So close edges, we don't want crisp edges at this stage. And we can bring these shoulder blades now, because we've got more polygons to play with. You can see already I've given it a bit of extra bulk where we've needed it around those blades, which has definitely helped the look of the silhouette. You can see that. Try and emulate exactly how the muscles would be on a humanoid character. Again, it's fantasy, but we're basing it on real anatomy, real human anatomy. And there we go. So quite comfortable with how that's gone around there. Okay, so I'm now going to run a split from there underneath the chest. In fact, looking at this, we can go all the way around on this one, like so. And that will give me what will become the chest area, like so. What I want is, when I've finished the neck section, I want this line to come up through here and up across the top of the bicep in here, so that that edge flow mirrors how the muscles would work. Not there at the moment with it, and not too concerned because I know it's going to go there, but the basis of that good edge loop will be there. I'm going to tuck this underneath here, so that would be the basis of his pectoral muscle there, or in this guy's case, there's a lot of flab around his pecs. Really, he's carrying a lot of man booby weight. Don't know whether I can say that on a video in America or whether I'll be in trouble, but we'll soon find out, won't we? Okay, so I'm going to run a split all the way through the top, all the way around the back and underneath. Just checking there, so I'll run a split all the way around there, around the back and underneath, like so. And I'm going to push it right out like that because I want to be able to even it out in different ways, like so. And I want to then push in the chest area there like that, and that will become the centre, the sternum underneath there, down towards his solar plexus. And you can see that's given us some good definition there, but then we need to even it out across the head. Again, I've run a split all the way through, which can be dangerous, but at this stage it's all fairly planned in my mind, and that split running through gives me polygons that will help me define the head shape. It's just experience, I suppose, to know that that was an okay split to do. Be very mindful of the splits as you get further on. You can see straight away that hasn't done any harm at all. It's just given me the basis of the head that I'm going to do in a moment. I'll just quickly tweak it to get in the position, and then carry on working down the back where we ran that split to even it again, exactly as we did before. We're just evening out all of the polygons. What we never really want is those crisp edges. Gonna have some kind of a crease there for his bottom, for his glutes, what will become his big muscles on his bottom. Bit of work closer to the spine there. There we go. I'm going to actually change the flow around here again, because I want to split this leg all the way down. And here's a good example of what I'm not going to do. So if I was to split that all the way through there, it would give me polygons here, around here, that I just don't want. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change the flow of the polygons under here and give myself a ring around here, which will become where the thigh joins the torso. So I'll show you what I mean now by doing this. So first of all, I'll run a split all the way around the middle, which is fine, like so. And then I'm going to start to work my way around here by splitting and adding points. So come along here, X, split there, split there for now. And then carry on splitting all the way down through the leg. I could have run a split there, but I'm just going to go as far as I want with this. And then leave that there underneath, and we'll fix the bottom here. You can hide a lot of problems underneath feet or in joints like that, so I'm quite happy that that one under there won't cause me a problem longer term. So go back to that joint where I've made a real mess of things, deliberately of course, and then carry on bringing this flow around. Select those two and split them. Select that face edge and remove it, and you can see now the polygon flow is starting to change, and the polygon flow is now coming around here. So you can see if I just select it, it's obviously not gone all the way around, or it would join up. So we've got the same problem at the back, and we want this, let's just show you this line here to come round and join in here. So we're going to do roughly the same sort of thing at the back by splitting. Putting some odd geometry in here. But it will come good in a moment. Again, I could have split this, but it's sometimes nice just to put your own cuts in wherever you want, and this is going to join up with that one anyway. So there was no issue with that. Now we just delete this one here, and that now has given me a ring all the way around like so. So that's going to help me with deformation around the hip area. What it has done is left me with some of these odd shapes that I don't want. So there's the triangle there that I don't want. I'm coming around to the front, I've got a triangle there that I don't want. So what I'll do is, to get rid of that one, first of all, I'm going to merge those 2 points by right clicking and merge. That gets rid of that one, and that leaves me with a triangle there. And now I can quickly, using X, just cut across the middle here, and that gets rid of that one for me and gives me a curve around the belly area, which won't be such a problem. Bit of a pole there, which again will be fixed later, but it's given me a much better defined hip joint really. And now with a bit of tweaking, I can give it lost a bit of volume there, as you probably could see. We can get that sort of like shape running back how we want it. I'm almost ready to put a split through that belly area there. In fact, I'm going to do it now. As you can see, it was looking like it needed a split through it, I think, like so. And then just even those out. Again, I'm looking for silhouette, looking for opportunities all the time to work on the silhouette. You can see what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at the flow around there. This guy's going to have quite chunky sides, coming slightly flabby, coming in, leading into his belly, and you'll see that in a second. So the build-up of fat over the top of his thigh there. Now, I think we can safely add another split through the thigh, like so. I think that's helped. And I think it's about time we actually committed to a kneecap. So I'm going to push that up slightly. I'm going to run a split through here, and that will form the basis of the patella here. Just kneecap there. And what I might do is just extrude that out by selecting those 4 faces. Whoops. Select those 4 faces. I did a bevel then by mistake instead of an extrude. Okay, what you saw me do then was a smooth command. And how you do that, I just smooth that knee off very quickly. I'll show you exactly how I did that. So if this thigh here isn't looking right and it's bulging somewhat, which that one is, I'm going to select a few faces and I want to smooth the area off slightly. Now you can just call the smooth command from the menu, or you can do what I've done here, which is I go to, already set up this of course, the mouse settings, and if you look at scroll, I've got Alt and Shift, Control and Shift set to smooth. So if I scroll the mouse wheel holding Control and Shift, it does the smooth command, and if I scroll the wheel backwards, it undoes it. So if you watch what that actually does, with that selection there, I'm now holding down Control Shift and rolling the wheel forward. It gives me a smooth mesh straight away. And before we go any further, I'm just going to pause for 1 second and save this mesh. Okay, I did that with a pause, so you've got this model at your disposal. I've saved it at that stage so you can see exactly where I was up to with it. Now we'll do a few more smooths in a moment. What I'm going to do is carry on adding a bit more geometry down here, and then a bit more tweaking. See how very square that edge is? We just don't want that. So we could do a smooth if you like there. So I'm going to use in the selection tool, which is this one here. You can use lasso selection just by basically left clicking across where you want to select, and then hitting Shift, Control and roll wheel gives us a smooth like so. Same down here, you can see it instantly sorts out a lot of your issues. Now what it will do is lose a lot of your definition, a lot of your volume. So I'm going to put that back in by tweaking. What it did do, even though the volume's gone, I can put that back quite quickly with tweaking. It has actually smoothed out a lot of issues. So again, use it sparingly. Smooth is one of the commands, one of the tools that you will use a lot throughout the box modeling process. And as you get more and more polygons in a given area, the smooth command has less effect. So if we had 300 or 400 polygons in an area, the smooth's a lot smoother. The less polygons, if there's only 30 or 40 polygons, then it's going to have quite an aggressive smoothing effect on it. You can see now I'm putting some volume back into that calf muscle. Don't really need to put any more volume back into the back of that foot there. But now what I think we'll do is do the we'll shape out the hoof a little bit. Now it is a split hoof, but I can do the split at a later stage. So for this early stage, I just want to get a nice rounded hoof shape, and then a lip where the skin actually overlaps. Just quickly switched in to show you. So on the reference, we're looking at this area here now. So we'll put the split in later. We'll get this rounded shape here, and some area of where this skin's going to be at a later stage. Okay, so back to the mesh. you can see we're already not far off that shape for the hoof. I'm going to run a split through it this way by selecting round like so. Now what I do want to do is probably, if I wouldn't mind a split along here, but I wouldn't want it to carry up that leg there. So I'd want to bring it around here and come all the way around the back, but that'll give me some triangles here. But I'm gonna do it and then fix that on the fly really. So I want to come round here. I want to split all the way to there, like so. And I want to put it quite close to the edge. Just even it off a little bit. And then I'm going to split by hand along here. And if I come back along here, follow that through there, come along here, through the back, like so, and just see where that takes us. So we've now got to get rid of that edge there, gives us the flow right the way around, and get rid of that edge there, gives us the flow right the way around, like so. We've got no issues underneath because we kept it all quads, and we can, if we want, we can extrude all of that to give it an even more defined edge. But the good point is we can just run a split all the way through here. We can just split the polygons there, and that's given me, again, no issues with any triangles. And I'd much rather have that pole there than where it was. And I've now got a nice crisp edge loop all the way around the bottom of the foot, which is going to help us with what we want to do later. So this area here now is where the skin meets the hoof. So if we just bring that back like so, and then bring that over the top, this will be where the skin tucks underneath the hoof, tucks underneath the skin, should I say. Again, lots of tweaking. You can probably hear the mouse going mad here because it's getting into heavy tweaking time. When you're working on something like this, now I've kept the mirror instance toggle on. I think you just saw it flash across the screen, and when I do that, it gives you, it brings the other side of the model into view. You can switch it off if it becomes a problem and you don't like modelling like that. Just switch it off, on and off as you'd please, really. You only need it on to check your symmetry. Once you've defined your form well, you don't really need it quite so much. Okay, so that's working well, and I'm just going to run that split again, like so. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a good approximation of what's going to be the hoof area as per the reference. Another split there, and that area will have lots of skin folds at a later stage. Work my way back up the leg. Not enough volume in that calf at all. We lost a lot of that with doing the smooth command. So if we just quickly bang some volume back in. If your silhouette's wrong at this stage, or badly, if you've gone badly wrong anywhere, to correct it when you've got lots of points is such a pain. So do the work early on, get the silhouette right before you go into any detail. It's exactly the same as painting or drawing in 2D. Get your silhouette, get your shapes right, and it saves you mountains of tears at a later stage. Okay, so now we'll do the shoulder that I was talking about earlier. So I want this shoulder joint to have a flow that comes right through there. So I'm going to split it by hand right from the centre. So I'm going to run one quite close to this edge up to there. That'll do for now. Just correct that by tweaking it. In fact, to help us, that there can take a split right the way through it, all the way around the back. Just double check it. It's getting a lot round here, but I'm actually going to do some rib definition there. So doing that split there doesn't really hinder me at all. I can even it out like so, but that will help me to build the definition that I want around here for the fat over the ribs. If you look at the reference, it's got ripples down the side, so we will need a lot of geometry there anyway. So back to where we just started. Just checking down there. I'm going to need a split through here, I think, in a moment. We'll get the muscle round the edges right first. So I'm going to go up through here and leave a triangle there. Get rid of that edge there, and that's given me a flow up around this muscle here, and then what would be down onto the bicep here. Just going to run a split all the way along here. You can see I'm adding and changing polygon flow as I'm going here. I'm looking for a rounded shape into the back of the shoulder area there. Right underneath the arm. We can bring that up here and come out here and then across here. Okay, so that's given us more to work on for the chest muscle there. Not looking good round here, is it? So what we can do is try and work out a way to, like I have done there, get rid of this point here. So I've just basically changed the look and shape of that muscle around there. I'm going to select a few areas and just run a smooth like so, and you can see it's smoothed it off for me. This muscle line here, this edge flow, is intact now, and it follows what would be accurate anatomy really, which is that the muscle comes up around and then up round the shoulder, and the bicep actually tucks underneath, under here. You can see there's a nasty little triangle there, but that's going any second now. But that gives me the bicep tucked right in, exactly as we would want it. You can see me moving polygons when they're too close together. I'm just going to run a split around that bicep, just because we can, and smooth him off a little bit. Done something slightly different there. I was using edges, look, rather than faces to smooth. So I want to smooth out that whole entire section there. I'll just select the faces. Oops, did too much there. Pulled it way too far in. So let's get rid of that triangle first. So I'm going to come down here with it. And drop it there for now. And then to remove that face there, that edge there, that gives us quite nicely defined armpit area. Getting quite messy in there, so this is where you've got to be careful now. I was happy with the silhouette and the form, so we're not going to get in any real trouble. As you're learning to do this, you can get in a bit of a mess there, because it's one of the hardest little joints to do and follow true anatomy or accurate anatomy. Again, experience will help you with that, and the more of these you do, the easier that'll become. And for this bit here, to get rid of that triangle, I've just got to run a split along there, and that's just slightly changed that edge flow, so I might change that again later on depending on how things go. Okay, couple more opportunities and then we better end this section, because it's getting up around the 40 minutes length, which is quite a long time. Just run a couple of smooths. Again, remember, running the smooths fine, but you will lose volume, so you've got to put that back in at some stage. Let's just do a very quick check and see what kind of a mess we've made with triangles, just to double check. So I've still got 2 triangles. I've got one more than 4-sided there. So we'll quickly check where they are. So we'll go to special geometry option. So we'll look for the one more, which is under that elbow, under that joint there. So we'll correct that one in a moment, and faces with sides less than 4 is triangle there and triangle there, both of which we can fix quite quickly. But you're keeping an eye on this, and that's the important bit really. Okay, I'll end this section there. We can fix those little bits quite quickly, and I'll save the model out again. Then we'll do move on to refining the head next.